you don't live in your ego and you don't let that control you anymore, that stuff doesn't matter to you. And it's so freeing. You should try it. And to answer your question, you guys, even I don't know 100% why I'm doing this. I feel, hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to use this video as an opportunity to clear up any unanswered questions you might have for me. I'm also going to be showing you some of my fall decor since it is now October, and I'm going to be sharing a little story behind each little decor piece. I'm really not one to collect knickknacks, so everything I purchase, I like to purchase it for a reason, or it has to stick out to me in some way or have meaning in some way. I just don't like a lot of clutter. So without further ado, let's get into this fall decor. Okay, you guys, so first I want to show you my little entryway to my home. So this is what you see as soon as you walk in the door. And this is just a bunch of stuff I've collected over the years, decor pieces, like this little fall bouquet. I think it's supposed to look like pine cones, but I'm not sure. I think it's kind of pretty though. And you know, a lot of this stuff I've also acquired through my various fall candle collections. So I'll purchase stuff like these little pumpkins just for photo shoots and to spice up the pictures. And here is my latest candle that I just dropped today on my website. This is the Festive Jacko candle, and you guys can purchase it on my website, westnovelties.com. I'll be talking more about that later. Here is my most recent little decor piece. I always loved the little Christmas villages growing up, and when I saw this at Cracker Barrel a couple weeks ago, I was like, okay, I gotta have it. It was on my mind for like a week after, just because, I don't know, I just love it. I love the detail of it. It's like a country fall aesthetic. I love the little dog too. It looks like a little golden retriever. And I've never seen one of these little village homes with a fall theme. They're usually little Christmas villages, and I loved the Christmas villages growing up. I would always set up the little Christmas village with the snow and everything. But I mean, I just thought this was so perfect. And when I got it, it was actually the last one available. So it was kind of meant to be. And I love how the little windows shine their lights on the walls. You can see it better when the lights are off. Like that. So, and of course right here is my wax warmer. And I have my pumpkin iced coffee wax melt in there. And the scent for these candles, you guys, is pumpkin iced coffee. So it's my most popular fall candle scent ever. So I thought, let me kind of revamp it with this cute little Festive Jacko candle. Okay, so let's keep moving. Next we have my guest bathroom, but I don't really have much to decorate in here other than this like fall scented hand soap that my mom got me and this little bouquet. And I got this bouquet for a past candle photo shoot as well. But that's all I got for in here. Okay, and as we're making our way into the dining room, just have my cute little pumpkin right here on my table. Okay, right here we got my little troll. And then another little pumpkin. These are just little knick-knacky things. And then here is another thing. Pumpkin. Little wood pumpkin decor. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, I also have this little dish right here that I just stacked a bunch of pumpkins in, like these little white ones. They're the same kind as the pumpkins at the front of the house. In the entryway, they're just white. And I just stacked them up in here. I don't know. I like it. It's kind of cute. Nothing too major. Okay, and then over here we have some more pumpkins that are hidden. And then this plant that is just such a pain in the butt. Oh, it looks like those are the ones. They kicked him out. those two branches kicked this one out. They're like, nope, there's not enough room. Sorry. Oh, and then cannot forget my old-fashioned vintage plug-in pumpkin. This thing I got last year at an antique store, and it might seem pretty basic to some of you guys, but it was actually sold in 1998. Like, that's when it was available in stores. So I kind of thought that it was cool that this is what people would buy when I was born, you know, back in the late 90s. And nowadays we have battery-powered things. So just like the one in the front of my house. I was thinking about putting this out there, but I don't want it to melt or anything because it's still like 104 during the days. So, you know, I don't want it to get ruined. But until the weather cools down, I'll keep it in here. And I just kind of like it. It's cute. And it's got a story. And there's Lucky Boy right there. Say hi, Lucky. Say hi. Hi, buddy. You being shy again today? Boop. Oh, then right here, I have another pumpkin. I've had this probably the longest. You're just too much licking and too much noise in my ear. Too much noise in my ear, Lucky. Just making too much noise. You're just doing too much over there. Are you smiling? Are you smile for the camera? It's too much noise again, huh? Lucky, smile. Smile. Smile in the camera. Smile. That's a good boy. Smile. Smile. Smile for us. Good boy. I loved you. Okay, I think that's just about everything. See, I don't have much, but there's my little reading chair. I read there every morning with my coffee. And here's what my bedroom looks like now. Don't mind my laundry because I still have to fold my laundry, but I took my streaming desk out of here because I wanted to put it in the spare room that I wasn't using, and it's so much nicer this way. Look at this outfit. This is what I wear when I'm around my house, just kind of doing stuff. So, no shame in my game. Okay, so I want to take a moment and thank all of my wonderful Patreon members for your support over there. Thank you so much. I'm gaining new members just about every day, and it makes me so happy every time I see that email come in saying that someone new has joined. So I'm getting ready to send out my candles of the month for October, and if you guys want to become a member of my VIP candle collective, I think you'll love it, okay? I really do. I think you'll be happy with the perks of it. And it's also a great way to just get to know me on a more intimate level. I share a lot of stuff on there that I can't really talk about here on YouTube. And I just feel very close to my community over there on Patreon. So here are some of my paintings. I was showing my friend these the other day. And sometimes I forget that I'm a painter on the side, but here's another one. And I just wrapped these in saran wrap, if you're wondering what that is. And then here's another one. I painted that for myself, and then I ended up buying something from the store that was much bigger and put it where I was gonna put it instead. So I might, I don't know, figure something out with these. This was just like a really happy painting that I did. I just loved the way this turned out and how simplistic it was. And it almost works really well with this one. You know, if you wanted to put them in like a hallway or something, or even like a living room, kind of a cool aesthetic. And then here's my hot air balloon, which I really like. This was more of a symbolic painting. I actually painted 3 of these, and that was the first time I ever did something like that. But they all came out pretty identical, and this was the last one that I had. All the other ones I sold. And then here is a pumpkin painting, just willy-nilly painting. I think I did this all within the course of an afternoon when I was bored one night, and I was just, you know, having some wine and listening to music. So these are just my little artwork pieces. And then here's a current piece that I'm working on. I might have showed you guys this already, but I'm taking my time on this, and I took this in my backyard one evening. I just thought the sky was just out. It was magnificent the way it looked. There's no way to put it into words, really. And even the camera didn't capture it in its full beauty, but I like the way this is coming along. I'll be done with it soon. And I'll show you guys how it turns out if you want. This is probably the longest one I've been working on. I've been working on this for probably 4 years now. And I'll just every so often get into it and add something new to it, but we'll see how this turns out. It kind of looks like a flying saucer right now, but it did not start out anywhere near where it is now. I kind of like that about art though. There's no real plan or rules that you have to follow. You can just kind of do things your own way and see where it turns out. So I haven't talked about my candle business in a while, but I've wanted to share something very exciting with you today that I just launched today, actually, and that is my special edition festive Jacko candle. So this is it. And I've been wanting to do something with these jars for years now. I've held on to them for a while, and I've just been kind of brainstorming and trying to figure out a way that I can incorporate these into my fall candle collection. So this is my fall candle for this year. I chose this scent, Pumpkin Iced Coffee, because it's my most popular fall scent by far, and it's just the perfect quintessential pumpkin spice fall scent. I think everybody likes pumpkin iced coffee in their own specific way, and that's one of the reasons I chose to revamp it with this festive Jacko candle. Here is what it looks like, and you guys can get some closer pictures of it on my website, westnovelties.com, and it's also available for purchase now. So go and check it out over there on my website. Everything's free shipping. And before I move on, I also wanted to show you guys my most recent collection, which is the Comfort Collection. Just a quick little backstory on why I chose to launch the Comfort Collection. So over the last year, I've had to do a lot of self-care and kind of rebuilding myself and taking care of myself. And some of the ways I like to do that are taking baths or reading, journaling, and those are just to name a few. But one of the things that enhances my self-care experience is lighting a nice candle, just to kind of give off the ambient glow and also that hint of escapism. Because I don't know about you guys, but every time I smell something out of the ordinary, whether good or bad, it takes me out of where I am currently and transports me to a different place in my head of wherever I remember that scent from or how that scent makes me feel. One of the things I noticed when I started my candle business with smelling so many different scents and choosing which scents to use for my candle line, our noses are underrated in how powerful they can be and how powerful certain scents can be with where they take us and how they make us feel. So I wanted to incorporate a comfort feel for the Comfort Collection. I brought back my mini candles, which are 3.5 ounces, and you guys can purchase them in the mini size, the regular size, or you could purchase the wax melts. So I did bring back my wax melts. So I wanted to just bring that to your guys' attention because I haven't talked much about my candle business lately. So let's get started with these questions that I found. And I hope by the end of this video, you guys feel like you know me a little bit better. So let's get started with the first question. And that is, why would anyone work 4 jobs? I mentioned in my last video that I currently work 4 jobs, so it does sometimes make things a little more difficult when it comes to multitasking and meeting deadlines. Now, when I say I work 4 jobs, that doesn't mean I drive to 4 different businesses and put my time in and clock in. I'll name my 4 jobs. So I work for Patreon. I've been a Patreon creator almost since it began. I also do OF, which you guys know what that is. I don't need to go into depth with that. I also do my webcamming shows, which is the longest job I've ever had. And I also do YouTube. And I also sell candles. So technically that's 5 jobs. Some of them overlap within each other, but it is a lot of work, but it's what I'm passionate about. And I've always been a very hard worker ever since I was a child. From the moment I could legally get a job in Maryland with a work permit, I got a job at Burger King. And at the same time, I was working with a family friend at her office. So I've always tried to stay busy, and I've always looked for income wherever I can and however I can. So you'll never see me sitting down and just kind of being stagnant or being lazy or hanging around people that live that kind of a sedentary lifestyle. So that's why I work 4 jobs. I like to stay busy, I like to stay occupied, and I like to have goals that I'm constantly working towards. Question number 2. What types of relationships did you have with your girlfriends while growing up? So I've mentioned in a couple of my past videos that I had a lot of girls around me growing up. It wasn't until I came out that they all started falling off like dominoes. And I think that has made a lot of sense to me as I've gotten older. In the moment when it happened, this was around 17 years old, 18 years old, it was really difficult for me. And I didn't know why it was happening. I thought there was something wrong with me, or I had this ick on me now that nobody wanted to be around me or be connected to me in any way. So I just tried to push it down and ignore it for a while, but I realize now that a lot of these girls that were surrounding me from like birth until 17, 18, a lot of them just wanted to kind of hook up. And because I wasn't really into girls that way, I didn't catch on to the cues, and I didn't catch on to the nonverbal signs, if that makes sense. I'm sure a lot of them probably feel like I strung them along, but on the same token, I had no idea. I thought we were just friends, and that's what made sense to me. Now that I'm older, I see that a lot of them were trying to date and were waiting for me to like ask them out, and were wondering why I was bringing other girls around, and possibly they thought I was giving mixed signals. But it was all innocent on my part. I had no idea that I was leading these girls on, and I just thought we were friends. But now that I'm older and I realize how few of male friends I had very little male friends growing up. I could probably count on 2 hands the amount of male friends that I had growing up, and my relationship with males was always kind of uncomfortable and intimidating. It was also intimidating for females because I just I didn't get like why every guy was so obsessed over girls growing up. Like it didn't do anything for me. And I think that's probably why a lot of these girls found comfort in hanging out with me, is because I wasn't trying to like hook up all the time and like make moves. But it was just a weird gray area of my life. And I know a lot of gay guys deal with this growing up. They have a lot of girlfriends and they just kind of roll with it, or they date some of them. I dated some of my girlfriends too, but it never turned out into anything. And, you know, it always kind of ended in a ball of fire. So I think a lot of my girlfriends were just secretly wanting to either hook up with me or date me. And I was just so oblivious at the time that I didn't even understand that. I've always been the type of person to find friends in anyone. And I've actually been made fun of for that, because I was the guy who would invite the weirdo to come sit at my lunch table, because I don't know, I could never be a bully. I could never be the type of person who purposely goes out of my way to make someone feel bad, because I was bullied. And I had to kind of build an armor around myself to get out of that. And once I built that armor is when I started meeting more friends. But it was just this weird thing, because the whole time the guy underneath that armor just wanted to take all that armor off. And it wasn't until I came out where I felt like I was taking all that armor off. and then all the girls fell away like dominoes. So don't read too much into it, but just know that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I mean, I know it's cliche, but it's so true. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 3. Do you still go to church? Yes, I still go to church. I try to go every Sunday. Sometimes something pops up, but then I'll just turn my mass on YouTube, because what they do is they stream live on YouTube every Sunday for those who like to stay at home or have to miss the mass. So whenever I miss mass, that's what I do in my living room. I just watch it just like I'm there. And it's great because they still play the music, and I always get great messages that just stick with me throughout the whole following week. And to answer your question, yes, I still go to church, and I live very close to it now. If I started walking, I could probably be there in 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe. But yeah, question number 4, why are you still single? It's interesting because my father used to ask me this a lot when I was like just getting to Arizona and like trying to start my life. And even I didn't know the answer, but now I do, and I'm still single because I'm not looking for that, and I'm not craving a relationship in my life right now, at least not a romantic relationship. I'm way too independent to be setting things aside for someone, and that's just not fair to someone else. I've tried to date a couple guys here and there after starting my candle business, and it just didn't work out, because with the time that I need to grow my business and to grow and mature as the man that I am, I just don't have a lot of time for other people right now. It sounds selfish, but that's why I'm still single. I could have a boyfriend right now if I really wanted to. I hope you guys know that. Like, I'm not some weirdo who just isolates. Like, no, I have such a hyper social job, career, that by the time I get off work, I really just want to be alone or like watch a movie with my dog, you know? That's what kind of fills me with peace after a long work day. So I know my life is very unconventional, but I can find a boyfriend if I wanted one, or a girlfriend. I just don't want one right now. But I do know that God will bring that to me when I'm ready. Question number 5. Why did you choose to start selling candles? Now, I saw this question, and I did answer this before in the past, but I just want to bring it up again. I started selling candles because I was going through so many candles. I love to light candles when I'm doing my webcam show, or painting, or journaling, or getting ready for bed, or right after I clean my house. I like to light a candle and put it on the kitchen counter and just various spots of my house, just to kind of keep the fresh scents flowing. And I was just going through so many of them, and it was also at a point where I was in the adult film industry, and I knew I was leaving, and I knew I was going to start a business. But at the time, I thought I was going to start selling adult toys and like actually creating them and like molding them in my kitchen. I bought all of this stuff and clay and silicone molds, and I got into it, and I realized like, this is never going to work. This takes way too long. It's way too messy, and I'm already over it. So then I thought, one day I was throwing out like 3 candles that had burned out already, that I just was saving for some reason. I'm like, I could make these. I should learn how to do this, because I know everybody and their mother loves candles, especially my mother. And I'm like, let me just do this. Let's see where it goes. So I went on YouTube and started doing a lot of research, figuring out how to make them, certain materials that I needed, just to kind of get started. And I started out, and by trial and error, I figured out what would work and what wouldn't work, and what I liked and what I didn't like. I sourced a different product from different companies, and just like different fragrances and different types of wax. And I came down to a formulation that I really liked, that seemed to come out the same way every time. And that's where I am now. And I've consistently improved on that and added to that. And I'm continuing to learn about this because, I mean, it really is a science making candles. But that's why I decided to start selling candles. And through all of this, I've learned and started to appreciate the power of smell and how much it really does influence the human brain. So I hope that answers your question. Let's move on to the next one. Question number 6. Why do you share such intimate details about your life to strangers online? There's a person who left a couple of these kinds of comments under my videos, almost as a way of trying to like diminish what I do. And it's okay. I mean, it's expected on my part. I know there's people out there that look at my videos and my content and they're like, what is this dude doing? Like, why would you this is going to be on the internet forever. And to answer your question, you guys, even I don't know 100% why I'm doing this. I feel in a certain way that I'm being directed to do this. And I remember when I first started my YouTube channel in 2017, when I was living in my college dorm and I posted my first video, I had this deep desire of wanting to help other guys because I was going through so much turmoil in my life, living in a new state, and had recently came out to my father. I was just experiencing a lot of uncomfortable vibes in my life. So I was almost trying to find comfort by putting those videos out because I knew I wasn't alone in feeling this, but I was trying to find maybe other guys that were going through this through YouTube or just other places online, places that I probably shouldn't have been looking for this comfort in. And that's when I came to a point where I'm like, okay, well, I gotta be the change I wanna see in the world. So at this point, I knew I had to leave college because I had no more money and I had to find a job and like a place to live off campus. So I just was kind of talking about that and almost in a way trying to get advice, but just kind of share my story. So from the get-go, from my first YouTube video ever, all I ever wanted to do was help other guys out there or girls that are struggling and need direction and just need to feel like they're not alone in what they're going through. But also helping them to make the right decisions and to not make the same mistakes that I did. So that's why I share such intimate details about my life online. Yes, I know some of these videos make me look like a fool, but when you don't live in your ego and you don't let that control you anymore, that stuff doesn't matter to you. And it's so freeing. You should try it. Okay, let's get on to the final question. Question number 7. How are you coping with doing so many activities out of your house? Are you concerned about reduced social interaction? So a lot of people, I think, are concerned about their social interaction and they don't realize that it's up to them. You are literally the conductor to your train of life. You can do anything you want. Nothing's holding you back other than things like your ego and preconceived notions you might have about certain things in life. So for me, I love to be alone. To be honest, that's where I relax. I mean, that's where I kind of unwind. I have such a short, I guess, social battery, partly because of what I do for my career. I can sense phoniness and fakeness and the small talk and underlying motives out of people just like that. Just like that. I mean, even the cashier at the grocery store. It's like I can catch a vibe in an instant and it turns me off, or maybe it excites me. I get, interested. Who knows? But I can usually pick up on people's vibes. I find a lot of the times when I'm around a lot of people and I just feel a lot of different people's energy, it drains me. It literally, by the end of if I were to go to the Arizona State Fair, which I've done before, every time I've gone to something like that, I am so drained for like two days after. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a hungover feeling. And I rarely drink in environments like that. It's so weird, but I don't like that social battery drainage feeling. So I try to avoid large crowds of people. I really don't like crowds. I'm not an introvert. I just don't like to be around lots of strangers. I don't like shopping malls. I don't really like movie theaters. But, you know, if I'm gonna go watch a movie, I'm gonna go watch a movie. But I'm not gonna go hang out in a mall or like hang out at the state fair just because I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable for prolonged periods of time. Am I worried about reduced social interaction? No, I'm not, because I know I've always been able to make friends anywhere I go, doing anything. I mean, I made a pretty good friend when I was going to Hawaii with my mom back in July. It was the most unconventional way that we met, and it was just a reminder of like, I've always been like this. I've always rubbed shoulders with someone and then became best friends with them. So no, I am not concerned about reduced social interaction. Thank you so much for watching my video today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you feel a little bit closer to me. And I hope you're interested in checking out my new festive Jacko candle. I just love it so much. I forgot to mention that I dyed the wax orange just to kind of give that inside of a pumpkin realism. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video today. I appreciate your support and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye guys.